Hey all, this is your buddy Drew, Paranormal Papa, with Paranormal Papa Investigations. Back in October of 2020, myself, Mark's wife Jessie, and our partner Christy all had a chance to visit probably one of the most sacred locations that any of us have ever had the pleasure of visiting. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and the infamous Gettysburg battlefield. This trip was not just for the history, but for the reports of the paranormal activity there as well. The video you're about to watch has to do with both, because you know what I say. What is the paranormal if not an echo of history, a doorway into the past? It's a rather lengthy video, but we bring to light, we keep alive not just the history of Gettysburg, but we also keep alive the men who gave their lives fighting for what they believed in. This is good. Comes alive in Living History's Mysteries. I'm standing right beside the Major General John Fulton Reynolds statue here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We just arrived. Lee just showed up. He's sitting here giving me the eye right now because he has an agenda for us. Him and Mark have been working. We have a few other friends, part of the Gettysburg family, that's been working on an agenda for us to make sure we get as much information, as much recording as we can. It is, what time is it, Lee? Almost noon. Almost noon? He's not allowed to take any more naps when we drive anywhere. He slept like a baby in that car. Sadly enough, I'm hurting like an old man. But all right, guys, we're going to get hopping. I hope you enjoy this video series on the history of Gettysburg, and I hope you enjoy the series on the haunted history of Gettysburg. They still march among us. Something tells me this is going to be an experience of a lifetime. Stay tuned.
So we're standing in the famous railroad cut. If you look, these tracks were not here during the time of the battle. Joseph Davis's Mississippians, he was related to Jefferson Davis. That was his nephew. They were heading southbound. Up there a little bit, you'll see the 6th Wisconsin. What they were going to do is they were going to be right by that fence wall, the snake rail fence, and they would be shooting right where the Confederates were coming. And so, as they marched over, 6th Wisconsin was charging in a backwards V type shape, along with the 44th New York or 14th Brooklyn, which that was the only regiment named after a city as well. What they were doing, Rufus Dawes, their colonel, 6th Wisconsin, kept on telling his men to dress on the colors, align on the colors. They weren't doing it. They were ready for blood. They were ready for action. They were pretty much in reserve, as the rest of the Iron Brigade was in Herbst Woods on the other side of this hill. So when they saw the Confederates move in this area, they pretty much attacked in all force. And when they saw that the Confederates were actually down here, several 6th Wisconsin, along with the other regiments, came down here and just did a melee, just beating the crap out of each other, shooting each other point blank, using swords, bayonets. There was one soldier by the name of Francis Waller from 6th Wisconsin. He survived this area, and what he wrote was he saw a Confederate flag bearer charging his way. Another guy came in, used his butt of his rifle, and just pretty much decimated him. And that they took the Confederate flag. So, as Rufus Dawes came up to the ridge here, he saw the rest of the Confederates pretty much shouted at them to lay down your weapons and surrender. And thus be told, captured quite a few Mississippians. North Carolinians were the ones that got away pretty much almost scot-free, because they were right on the other side of the flank, knew what was coming. They pretty much hightailed it all the way on the other side of the ridge, where now the Peace Light Memorial is going to be at.
Just mentioned to me too when we got here.
Yes.
About this piece of ground right here.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Back in 1996-97, some tourists was walking down the the railroad cuts. Notice in this vicinity here, bones sticking out from a soldier that was fought here. Documentation stated that he was a Iron Brigade soldier. So my unit, 24 Michigan, along with several other guys from the Iron Brigade, as well as some of the Confederates. Back in 97, 98, we had the distinct honor of doing a soldier's burial with this soldier in the Soldiers National Cemetery, and he's still buried there at this time. Later, I'll show you where he's actually buried.
Here we are at the position of the 88th Pennsylvania, here on Oak Ridge, and the fighting here will take place early morning of July 1st. The goal is for the Union Army to extend their line to Oak Hill, but what's going to happen is, on Oak Hill are Confederates from Rhodes' division, and they will make a sweeping attack across the Mummersburg Road and hit the position here. Iverson's men will go into battle without any skirmishers, and what's going to happen is they're going to get absolutely decimated. The little marker out in front of us is part of the 88th Pennsylvania. The area known as Iverson's Pits, and that's where they capture several flags from Iverson's brigade.
Now, Oak Hill, that is over there where what's it called, the Eternal Light?
It's the Eternal Light of Peace. I think that's how everyone just calls it the Peace Light. But it was dedicated in 1938 by President Roosevelt during the last reunion of the Civil War troops, the 75th anniversary of the battle.
Fascinating.
One of the brigade commanders out here, and he will suffer a very horrific wound. It'll go pretty much from side to side across his head, and he will lose his sight. And in some of the after-action accounts, he is actually listed as being killed because no one thought that he would survive this wound. But he survives, gets a desk job for the remainder of the war, and will have several children after the war. So here we are at the 90th Pennsylvania, one of my favorite monuments on the field, and it's so simple. It's just the form of a tree its limbs have been shot off. It's got the accoutrements of war hanging off the one limb, and then on the top, to kind of have a spirit of reconciliation, you have a bird tending to its young in the nest. 90th Pennsylvania. Very interesting monument. So, here we are at the end of the line. The original line will be facing to the west. There's going to be a disjointed attack from across the road here. It's going to be defeated relatively easily. But as the day progresses, there's going to be several attacks here in the field. These are where Iverson's men will come through. But then, the 11th Corps will start to arrive. And their goal is to join up with the the First Corps here. But Oak Ridge and Oak Hill is now occupied by the Confederates. So there is a lengthy gap between both of these elements. What's going to happen is pressure will start to commence. We're not sure whether it's the First Corps or the 11th Corps that falls back first. But what's going to happen over here, where this little marker is, the 16th Maine will be given orders to hold this position at all hazards. Think about that. It is one regiment, and there are thousands of Confederates bearing down on this position. Their goal is to buy time for the rest of the guys to get to town. They will have less than 100 men by tomorrow on July 2nd, 1863.
Hey guys, we took a break from the battlefield. We are here at Hunt's Cafe, right here in downtown Gettysburg, home of the battlefield fries. Mark just ordered these things. They come in a large popcorn bucket full of fries. Me personally, onion rings and mushroom and Swiss roll. Supposed to be the best in town. Need to check this place out when you show up. Okay, Lee and I just got here to the Jenny Wade house. Now, those of you that know the story of Jenny Wade, she was the only civilian to die during the Battle of Gettysburg. When a bullet went through that door while she was baking and hit her and killed her.
Now, it's important to note that what happened to Jenny Wade was believed almost unanimously in the historic field as an accident. The shooter whose bullet struck Jenny through the outside door and the inside door of the kitchen 3 feet away was shooting from several hundred yards to the west of that house, trying to shoot over the house at the battlefield, but managed to pierce both doors and strike her in the back of her shoulder, piercing her heart and killing her instantly. The only civilian to die at the Battle of Gettysburg.
Where her sister Georgia lived, and her husband John McClellan, and another family. Believe it or not, in 1863, the small house was a duplex. 2 families lived here. Each had 4 rooms apiece, so you will go through both homes. This is, however, where Jenny was shot and killed. And Jenny was here. His sister had just had a baby, just a couple days before the battle. And Jenny came down to help her sister out, to stay with her sister. Sadly, unfortunately, she ended up being shot and killed during the battle. Now, to give you an idea of what Gettysburg was like back then, the town was way down there. This area here, for about a block and a half, was open field. Confederates were shooting in this direction. Union were shooting in this direction. And as a result, if you look at the house, if you look at the bricks, if you look at the foundation, you'll see bullet wounds, scraping, scratches, all from the Battle of Gettysburg. Now, the house itself was built in 1842, 21 years before the battle. So it is the original house. And between 100 and 150 bullets hit the foundation of this house. But of course, the most important, the most notable, is the bullet that hit Jenny Wade. That came, or they believe it came, from just down the hill, or just up the hill a little ways, at a place called Farnsworth. And yes, it was a Confederate sharpshooter. No, it wasn't deliberately shooting Jenny Wade. He didn't even know she was here. His aim, as was all the Confederates, were to shoot towards the Union Army. And in shooting in that direction, and with the house already here, that is why the house sustained so many bullets. But his bullet went through the door. Now, when you go in this door, or in this room, we'll be in George's kitchen. In George's kitchen, there's another door. Jenny was behind the second door, bent over the dojo, making bread biscuits for the Union soldiers and her family. When the bullet entered the first door, went through the second door, struck her lower left shoulder, and her back, went into her heart, and she was instantly killed. So when you go through the house, you will go through the 2 rooms down here, go up the stairs, there's 4 rooms upstairs. Then you go down the stairs on the other side, you'll be in the other family's home. They too have 2 rooms on the first floor. Then, when you're done with all waiting, please make sure you do go into the McLean and other families' parlor. There's a glass curio, there's artifacts there, you'll definitely want to see those.
There is no winning here anymore. The battle's long over. Long over.
What can I help you with?
There's our current field strength right there. Hello, YouTube. It's Drew and Mark from Living History Comes Alive and Living History's Mysteries. Welcome to Gettysburg's haunted history. They still march among us. We are out here right now at Devil's Den. Mark, you want to tell them the significance of this? If I can find you, there you are.
Pretty much where we're at in Devil's Den is a little cove called the Sniper's Nest. Very popular. Probably a few days right after the battle, a photographer by the name of Alexander Gardner came over here trying to film some, take pictures, see what he can find. And he saw this Sniper's Cove. So he was looking around and see what he can do. And then he saw a mangled up body, probably about 150 yards out, just laying there. Before he moved the body, he took a picture, and he had a rifle with him like a prop. So what he did was drag this lifeless body to the Sniper's Nest to take that famous photo that you see in numerous books, videos, documentaries, and whatnot. Yeah.
So it wasn't even an actual photo.
No.
Wow. Well, this is our very first night of the investigation. We've got some good video on the history of Gettysburg itself today and the war or the battle that took place here. This is the very first installment of any of the paranormal work. We'll see what we can find out here. There's a lot of stories about this place, and I'm very anxious to find out how true they are. Is anybody here with us? Anybody that fought here in July in the battle here in Gettysburg? Field strength 38. That's still running pretty decent, actually. Do we have any soldiers here with us? Anyone who saw the fighting?
Any Union Confederate soldiers?
Is there even a Berdan soldier around here? I know you guys fought here as well. How bad was the fighting? It's funny how the arrow's already pointing to the side.
Yeah, it's pointing right towards the nest already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull this one down. We'll go with the raptor. We'll see how it does. Does anybody have anything to say? I know we have soldiers here. There is no winning here anymore. The battle's long over. Long over. Are you a Confederate sharpshooter? Are you a Confederate soldier?
You with the 4th Texas?
Records. There are records of who fought here.
What records do you want?
Helpful.
Records are helpful.
What records are you looking for? I can be very helpful to you. What are you looking for? Yeah? What are you looking for? What type of records? What can I help you with?
Kind of waiting here for a cricket.
Fear me. Why do you say I fear you? Because I have my Berdan hat on? I have a green hat on?
It's okay, it just said fear me too.
You trying to scare me?
Just out of curiosity, soldier, are we surrounded?
Is there Confederate soldiers around us? Do you not like me wearing my green hat on?
Right now, up on top of the hill, there's either and
What do you see?
months.
That little obelisk, that's 99 Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, that obelisk thing just lit up. About that much of the top of it just glowed. I thought it was a person lighting a cigarette.
Is there Confederate soldiers around here? Do you have anything else to say?
Get out. That was pretty clear.
Yeah. You want me out?
Severe. The battle was severe. Your injuries were severe. What was severe? Bloody. I heard bloody.
What was that? I don't know about you, but I'm having a funny feeling I'm being washed.
Yeah, I'm too.
Under. Are you under one of the rocks here? You watching us under one of the rocks? It's kind of weird how it just said. Scare. You trying to scare us? Is that what you're trying to do?
Sniper. It just said sniper. While preparing to set up for shooting at Cemetery Hill, we turned on the camera and just let it run as we were finished setting up, and weren't really prepared for the noises that we picked up just on the camera alone. Alright guys, we are here at the edge of Cemetery Hill, trying to film out towards the center of the, what the hell was that? Center. It's like something bright blue just shot right between me and this camera, and I'm standing like 10 inches from it.
Yep, saw it again.
Now, the wind is coming at our face, so the wind is actually coming this way. We're going with the green. We're going to see what we can find here. Right here is one monument. Right here, a little further back, is a secondary monument. trying to watch in between those and see. Okay, I don't know if you guys are able to see this or not. We are getting a lot of blue orbs. Let's go back to the regular camera. Right there. You guys see the hot zones? Right here. We'll get the parallels.
Scanning.
Is anybody here with us tonight? Mark, can you grab the other one too, please? It's right here on the hood, next to my bottle. Is there anybody here with us tonight? Anybody like to talk to us? We journeyed a very long way to learn your story.
Leader.
Leader. I'm not necessarily the leader. We really don't have a leader. Where?
You mean you were the leader?
You were the leader?
Oh, I get it now. Got it.
What?
Quibble.
Quibble?
Oliver Howard was the leader during the later part of the first day of the battle. And then when General Hancock came in, he took over leading the Union Army on the field until General Meade came on later that evening. So that's my guess, is word leader,
Huh.
talking about General Howard.
What is the heat source I'm seeing out on the field between the two monuments? Quite. But what is it? Bet.
Scanning stopped.
Alright, let's move this way. Okay, by turning, guys, the field strength just went up from the high 40s to the mid 60s. Is there anyone here with us? Huh. There's our current field strength right there. Right at the monument, 79. Now, I don't know if you guys are hearing any of the pops or ticks to our left, but there is most definitely activity right in this area. Going back to night vision.
When we started out on Little Round Top, I just got the sense that somebody's been following us.
That's a cave going back in here.
I'm standing here is what it is called the triangular field. So if you see this area, because you see the apex version of the triangle, and it strolls out to what it looks like a triangle. There's always have these, you have the Bermuda Triangle.
If you listen to that rumbling in the background, at first I thought it was the wind, then I realized the wind wasn't blowing that hard, plus I had the wind muffler on the microphone. It almost sounds like cannon fire.
Battlefield is what it is called the triangular field. So if you see this area, because you see the apex version of the triangle, and it strolls out to what it looks like a triangle. There's always have these, you have the Bermuda Triangle, the Michigan Triangle. Gettysburg has their own version of their version as well. They say that if anyone comes in this area with electronic devices, it's going to malfunction. A lot of people has had phones that were charged 100%, walk in here, and then it will just die. You'll hear all kinds of frequencies from different areas as well. So, is it part of paranormal? It's another controversial part. Some say it is, some say it doesn't exist, or make believe, or it's pretty much up to you, I guess. So it's, if you think it is paranormal or whatever, it's pretty much just, it's up to you on that one. So you be your own judge if you want to or not.
Yeah, he wants.
All right, guys, we're here at Triangular Field. I am going to take the challenge. I pulled out the SX7 spirit box. If you guys will look right there at the top, it is 100%. Let me pull that down again just in case. We're going to turn it on, and I'm going to walk through the gate. She's scanning. Here we go.
Are we going with you or no?
No.
See, I didn't think
I don't
so.
want that thing in here just in case it does work. That's why I'm taking something I don't use. Alright, I'm out here on Triangle Field right now. I brought the SA7 Spirit Box out here to test the story, whether or not any electronic devices automatically get drained out here. And we are still full power. I'm right in the middle of the field. As you can see right here, that line of those green shrubs form the triangle. It goes all the way up to this point, and then completely back around to this little tree right here with the red leaves, and then completely back along the stone fence, back down. I'm directly in the middle of the field. We're still on 100%. Looks like we debunked this one. Walking back up to the gate at Triangle Field. I mentioned debunking the myth about it draining power, but the one thing that it didn't debunk is the fact that this whole place is very spiritual, it's very mystical, and when I'm standing in the middle of that field, it feels like I have 200 souls standing around me. Fear, but at the same time, security in numbers. So, yeah, I think everybody needs to come here just once in their life, more times if possible, but at least once. There's a lot here. On with the investigations. If you look right next to my shadow to the left, you'll see that black spot. I don't know how well you can see it on film. That's a cave going back in here. We're going to slide this back in here for a second. See if we can hear anything.
What I want to show you guys that road.
If you look right back in among those rocks right there, you'll see a divot. It's almost a small cave or a cubby. Christy was getting a feeling, possibly hearing things, so she wanted to go out and investigate that cave. What do you say? A weird feeling. All right, girl. Tell us what you felt out there.
The closer I got, the more nauseous I got. I don't know.
I think there's a good possibility somebody died in that divot or right around those rocks, or maybe hand-to-hand fighting or something. What do you know about it, Mark, about the hand-to-hand fighting here in this area? Was there a lot of it?
If there was, it wasn't documented, but there's been several hand-to-hand combat in this area. So it got really close. I know Little Round Top had a little bit. Wheatfield had several hand-to-hand combat.
And the further I went over there, the more my stomach churned. When I was walking away, when I'm up here, I'm fine. But the closer I got, just my stomach hurt. I don't know.
For this last little bit of our last day in Gettysburg, I have yet to be able to explain why our video footage came out, but no sound came out. Everything tested out, everything was working properly, but for some reason, no sound recorded during this last little bit of our day, our last day in Gettysburg. After leaving Gettysburg, we made one more stop on our way back to northern Indiana. This whole story, this whole video has been about history. Old history, and those who are stuck repeating history over and over and over. This last stop was a surprise to Christy and I. We knew nothing about it. Mark and his wife, Jessie, had planned this. History made during our lifetime. And history that should never be forgotten. Quite honestly, a trip out of Pennsylvania just wouldn't be appropriate without stopping by here. This is the Flight 93 National Memorial from the 9/11 attacks, September 11th, 2001. Beautiful place. They've got a beautiful center set up. Back there behind me is the wall, the overlook. Come on, let's go inside.
Flowers and whatnot. But it's so different from just...
Yeah, because they just got like big houses right there. That's the original of that. Because they were just getting grants and funding, and then we're here.
This whole trip has been about history and never forgetting. This is the newest history our country's ever endured. Those people knew they were going to die, but they were going to die on their terms. They went down like heroes in this field. For those of you that have never seen this before, right there, that part in the trees, was the impact site. Memorial Grove, where she came to rest.
Generations of people who study this life, their story is right in the book. Go around the individual choices make a difference. But love and sacrifice is wrong over evil.
Up there is where I was just filming from a little bit ago, showing you the entire crash site. Now that we're down on the level, look at this. Right there is the grove that you've seen at the far left of the crash site, where the nose of the plane finally came to a rest. She slid on the ground for over a half mile. As I said before, I really honestly believe that they knew they were not going to walk away. But by God, if that plane was going to go down, it was going to go down on their terms. They died like heroes that day. Like I said, this whole trip's been about history. Let's not forget the history of our lifetime.